Oh, this is not your room, but welcome. Welcome to UA High. I apologize for the state of undress you have caught me in, but I was in the middle of getting ready for a training session with my friend Deku. Now, please, tell me, what is your name? You... That is an unusual name. One moment. Are you quite certain you are supposed to be one of the new students at UA High? Very well. You are welcome here, and I welcome you. I am not in charge of the class, however, I will be happy to give you a basic orientation. We begin training very soon, and you are welcome to join me. I do not know how you will do in training. Training in UA is very intense, and not everyone is well suited to thrive, shall we say. But I think that you will do well. Can you tell me a little bit about your quirk? I see. Well, here we call them quirks. We do not call them mutations, I believe is what you said. That is a somewhat offensive term, but I see that that is normal for you, so that is quite all right. Now, tell me a little bit about your power. So you also have ice powers. That's wonderful. Perhaps you and I could train together. Well, yes, the truth is I do also possess a fire power as well, a heritage from my father. My father, as I'm sure you know, is the second greatest hero in all of Japan, Endeavor. He and I are not close. But none of my personal matters. Tell me about you and your particular ice powers. That is impressive. Whereas my body sometimes does coat with ice when I am using my powers in extreme, you're saying that you can naturally coat yourself in ice. A sort of ice man, if you will. Very interesting. Are you immune to the effects of ice? That is an advantage that you have that I do not. You see, while I am incredibly resistant to both fire and to ice, I am not immune to them. So I do have to be cautious when using my power, and in fact, using them in conjunction can actually make me more powerful because the heat can help melt away the worst of the ice and vice versa, allowing me to fully utilize my power when I am trying to help those in need. You also help those in need. That is wonderful. Tell me about this school that you come from. For gifted youngsters, you say. Well, I suppose it is very similar then to UA. I have never myself been to the United States, but I would like to go someday. I have heard that some of my greatest heroes have served as apprentices there when they were in training, and perhaps I could do the same. Now, tell me, Bobby, if I may call you Bobby. Oh, yes, I am Shoto Tokodori. And we hopefully will be friends. Now, let us see if we can find our limits. I will make it as cold as I can stand in here, and you tell me if you are bothered by it. Are you ready? Go. That is as cold as I can make it before I have to activate my fire powers. But I see that you are quite uninjured. Are you saying that you can become complete ice? You can actually transfigure your body into ice? That is extraordinary. Of course, I do have classmates who have powers somewhat like that. One of my classmates is able to turn into steel, for instance. You have a classmate that good as well? That's wonderful. Perhaps they could meet up sometime. I really do feel like we have a lot in common. Tell me, did you have a troubled childhood? So your father was not a superhero, but he was somewhat intolerant of mutants, as you say. That must have been difficult. My father certainly was not intolerant of quirks. Far from it. I do not know the better term to put it. I was bred to become the greatest superhero of our age. The irony being that it seems that that may not be me. It seems that my classmate Deku may actually be destined to take All Might's reign as the greatest superhero. Now, don't get me wrong. I am going to do everything in my power to become the top classman and become the greatest superhero of our age. Not because of my father, but because I want to. That is actually something that my friend Deku taught me, that my fire powers should not be impingent upon my father. I control those powers, and I use them to the greatest extent. Oh, so you had a revelation of that yourself. You had a white queen take over your body and use it. That sounds like something you should tell me over ramen sometime. I don't quite know how to process that. Certainly I have heard of quirks that allow possession, but they are extraordinarily rare. What I have heard more often is the copying or duplicating of powers or the suppression of powers. Our teacher is very skilled at that. Oh, so you know someone as well. Your young friend Leech is able to do that. Yes, it is a devastating power, and I can tell you, in the middle of battle, to suddenly lose the ability to fire ice or flame is very disorienting. So, Bobby, what say you and I team up together? We could become quite a formidable team. If I was to use my ice powers to augment yours, we would be unstoppable, and you could use your ice powers to help negate the worst effects of my fire, allowing me to reach an even greater potential. I think this would work grand. So Bobby, why don't you and I go and get some ramen, talk about how we can work together, and who knows, perhaps together you and I will become the greatest students of UA High. Hello, and thank you for watching Roleplay Riot. I hope you enjoyed this very simple, very fun roleplay. I hope you enjoyed this cosplay. I love getting into cosplay for you. If you would like to support me, you can go below to my link of an Amazon wish list. A wonderful supporter purchased this costume for me and allowed me to do it. And there's makeup, and you could even become a Patreon supporter, and that will also help me do more cosplays and buy more equipment to do better filming. Thank you again so much, and until then, plus ultra!